either be on Tuesdays with the sisters, Mondays with
This in front and this in the
to always remember Allah and to always question how is our relationship with Allah. So may Allah always reward her and make us closer to Him. Jazakallah khair.
وإياكم. السلام عليكم. Okay, السلام عليكم. What did you just have in the break? So it was supposed to be coffee, right? So you're awake? I don't know. You don't look like it. طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا إنك سميع مجيب الدعاء. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع وقلب لا يخشع ونفس لا تشبع ودعاء لا يسمع. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. First I want to thank Sheikh Almasmari. The idea actually was his idea. Yani I don't take any credit in this. We did this in Michigan first. So they invited me to go. He has a beautiful center, mashallah, tabarakallah. They are now renovating. It's amazing, beautiful. Anytime you are going to Detroit, make sure you go and see. It's called the Ummah. He has an organization called the Ummah, United Muslim, I don't know, of Detroit. I don't know. So we'll ask him when he comes. It was an amazing place. A lot of young people, a lot of youth volunteering, subhanallah. So he actually asked me and he said, what do you think about that? And there is also, the plan for the next year is actually to do more of these, not necessarily in Irvine, but we will have a man and a woman to discuss subject from the two sides. Because when Sheikh speak, the woman was like, oh, he's a man. And then when the woman speak, oh, she's a woman, right? We have this perception, yani, not necessarily intentional, but it comes in. So it's always good to hear it from the two sides. And that's inshallah, there's another plan, inshallah, in the next coming scholar probably will do something but different. So alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, Sheikh Almasmari covered a lot of what I wanted to cover, and he took a lot of what I was like, should I say it, should I not? Alhamdulillah, I'm done. So I'm gonna be looking more on this side because my task is what is their right. So are you ready? Right, when I started in Detroit, I started because I'm the guest. So last night I said, no, ya Sheikh, you start, you are the guest to be equal. So I'm gonna start with the following. And I normally, when I study and when I like to understand what is going on. We don't wanna jump to conclusion or jump to assumptions. Yeah, I think there's something with that. May Allah reward you. Okay, so the first thing, the second house, the title of this seminar was actually Sheikh Almasmari idea. So I was like, okay, how many people know what this word means? And this is AI generated. And you're gonna be surprised. I did last week one of the most amazing youth program I did over the weekend. It was for the boys. And mothers and parents and fathers, you better know what AI say. And I really mean it. Because when I was asked question and I answer, they answer and they know what it is. And Allah made me, I thought, where did you get this from? And he said, AI. And then I had to bring him to me and he showed it to me and he was right. But what was the issue? What is AI? Is what you put, you will get. So I said, what did you put? He said this. I said, then wait. I'm gonna put this without getting into the detail. And he got a completely different answer what I was telling him. So I said, you know what? Let's all get into it. What is Sakan? Read it. Resident housing, accommodation, place of dwelling. This is word to word. But the reality is deeper. It comes from the root sakana, live, inhabit. And it's very different than a house. Bayt in the Arabic language, we know bayt is different than sakan. But in the English language, it's all translated into a house. So number one, second house is not the house you're living in. It's not what's your address. It is how many bedrooms, who lives with you. That's a house. Second is what is happening inside that house. Are you all with me? Alhamdulillah. So look at this. Sheikh, may Allah reward him. If you get an engagement or a wedding invitation, very unlikely you're not going to read this one. Yes? And this is in Surah Ar-Rum, and it's a sign of Allah that He created to you from among you peers or spouses, so you will taskunu. And this is the word sakan. So it is peace, it's love, it's I feel my refuge. Some of you answered beautifully. Literally, the house needs to be, you know, when you are at work and you had that day and you just want to go home. Why? Because now you're going to be breathing and people will understand who you are. And if you're not talking, they know because you had a bad day and they'll give you the space. That's the house should be. That's the second. And that should be the spouse. And Allah here, the word taskunu is not about the house or the home. It's about the human being. And I'm going to ask everybody, don't answer me, but this is questions you'll take with you home. Are you second to your spouse? Are you second to your spouse? It's not about just me taking, or wanting. It is, am I a second? Will your children say this about you? If you have grown-up children, especially teenagers, or they will go out and say, my parents always fight. So taskunu, keep it in your mind. I'm going to go to the basics first. Why do you get married? Again, because of the crowd, I asked friends, I asked students, right? What is the common reason why you get married? Don't answer me, I'll tell you. Both sides, but especially this side. Everybody else is getting married. I want to have children. I don't want to stay alone, right? I want a companion. When I grow older, I want to have someone with me. There's nothing wrong with that. Anything wrong with that? Then why I'm asking? Because we miss the most important reason. Why do we get married? We rarely look at getting married like you are performing Fajr Salah. It's an act of worship. It's an order from Allah. That's why we say it's an act of worship. It's an order from Allah and it's from Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Imagine if you look at your marriage, and this is to both sides, as Salatul Fajr. How often you will get divorced? How often you will live not in Sakan? Because why you're coming for Fajr? Very difficult. That's why I put Fajr. Very difficult, especially coming to the masjid. Very difficult. I love to sleep. Many people doesn't do it. But why do you come? Not to please your somebody. You come because Allah said so. Because you want to be in that line and He's looking and He finds you. And especially for the brothers. So number one, especially for those who are, because people ask me, is this workshop to whom? I said, you're single. You're thinking of getting married, wanting to get married, already married in the first month and two. I've been 10 months. Somebody asked me, I've been married 20 years. I said, doesn't matter, just come. Maybe you're doing excellent. Ihmadillah. Be grateful. So it's an act of worship. And I actually asked AI again this question. You really need to talk the language of the current, especially the youth, right? Is a virtuous act of worship, ibadah. This is AI, this is not a book of tafsir, right? Because it's a sacred institution. It's a sunnah of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. And it's an act pleasing to Allah. And this is the word I really want everyone. It is viewed as a continuous act of worship. It's not only Fajr and I'm done. It's not only wedding day and I'm done, or the honeymoon, or when I have a baby. It's a continuous act of worship, meaning when things goes down, what is the act of worship I have to do? When things are amazing, what is the act of worship I have to do? And it is actually fulfilling religious and social duty, raising a family, establishing a righteous society. And there is intimacy in it. Part of it is intimacy. Because Allah wants this intimacy to be according to His rules, not according to what society tell me or what I want or I don't want. And this is the order in the Quran. It's in Surah An-Nur, the light. وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ. Get married. And even in the ayah after this is, whomsoever don't have the means, meaning money, right? Get married, Allah will give you. And this is one of the major problem we're seeing in the Muslim community in general, especially in California, let alone in Irvine. And I just asked Sheikh Almasmari, and he just came in. I was like, how did you know it's an issue in Irvine? He said, I do my research. We need to change this perception. And basically, we have made halal difficult, and we made haram easy. Haram is already very easy, and it's available and everywhere and free. So it is an order. When I get married, and it doesn't mean you're just going to go get married to anybody, but when the requirements that Allah set is there, you're obeying Allah. You're obeying Allah. Yani literally, with one of the member of the community, brother, we decided, you know what? He said, I have a long list of brothers who wants to get married. I said, I'll give you double of the list, because from all over. We failed so far. 0. Because the requirements, again from both sides, I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? Somebody 38-year-old, she has to be fair? She has to have light and, I mean, beautiful. I sent pictures, and she is light, but not the light he's looking for. Then another woman, he has to be physician. Why? I always joke, is the Jannah key in medical school? Yeah. Right? So we are making it, yani wallah, it's something very sad, because this is not, because when we make haram, halal difficult, haram would jump in right away. So that's one. And then this is for the young men, especially, Ya ma'shar al-shabab. He spoke to them. Young people get married. This is order from my and your Rasul. It's not a study. Why? And he explained, because somebody's like, no, I don't need to get married. He said, أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ, it's going to help you to lower your gaze, meaning fulfill your needs through halal and not looking at the haram. And then woman lam yastata, of course he knows, alayhi salatu wasalam, not everybody is able, then fast. Because fasting will help you to control the desire. Right? And then I hear this, wallah, when I was putting this hadith, it's like, alayka salatu wassalam. There is a new movement. I don't want to get married. Is not, Allah not yet send the right person, the true side. I don't want to get married. It's too, it will, there's a lot of responsibility, it's costly, I want to live free. Things very new for the Muslim community. Where did this come to us from? What Islam came after worshipping Allah and knowing Allah is the sanctity of the human being and the sanctity of the family. If everyone doesn't want to get married because it's too expensive, I don't need, I have to give up some things, then what's going to happen to us? So look what he said. And this is actually Sahaba. Asked Sayyidah Aisha, and they said, how does he, like, not how he is at home, what was his ibadah? So she explained to them. He heard it. In reality, they said, wow, that's, yani, it's like, that's not much. So one of them says, you know what, no, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to fast all the time. Second one said, I'm not going to get married. And the other one says, I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to be worshipping Allah all night. He heard it. And out of his adab, he did not pinpoint to them. He said, Ma balu aqwam. What is wrong with people? And I am, he alayhi salatu wasalam, I sleep and I pray. And I eat and I fast. And I get married. And now he put the hadith, فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. You turn your back from the sunnah of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam willingly. Yes, I know some people did not get married. It is not in their not in their qadr, but not, I just don't want to get married. Both sides, and especially from the woman, I'm hearing it more. I just don't want to get married. I have my career, I'm financially independent, I don't want to get married. من رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. But I want to stand in front of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, then he will say, you didn't want my sunnah, you're not part of me. Ouch. Painful. So what is this institution? The second house is an institution, right? So what is this, right? Islam put rules for building it, to build, to protect, and to promote it. So build, protect, and promote. Number one, family is a social. We human beings, you know why it's called insan is insan? For those of you who know Arabic, why it's called insan? Yes, Allah called it, but why it is called insan? It has something to do with our nature. What is the root of insan? Anybody? No. من الأنس. And الأنس is solace. We by nature, Allah created us. We're not going to be lonely human beings. We're not going to be lonely creation of Allah. Yeah, sometimes we want our space, private space, but in general, we are social, and not only Muslim, in general. So family, getting married, having children, let alone extended family, it's a social institution. Second, and this is the most important thing I'm going to stress on in my talk, the rules and regulation of marriage is not written by a human being. It's written by Allah. It is not my opinion and yours. It's not I like it or I don't. It is not I live in California and I don't live in Midwest, or I live in 2025, not at the... It is from Allah, unchangeable. And Islam takes measures to control arguments. There is not like, okay, this is how it is. No, there is, Islam do acknowledge there's going to be problems. Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam had problems. Sayyidina Umar had a problem. Remind me at the end, maybe in the question answer, to share with you some of these stories. So Allah who created you and me, He made a pair. That's the first basics I'm going to come to. He made a pair. And everything actually. وَمِن كُلِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَا زَوْجَيْنِ. It's always pair. Even animals, pair, male and a female. Even plants, male and a female. Why I'm saying this? And this is the verse. مِن كُلِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَا زَوْجَيْنِ. Pair. Right? قُلْ نَحْمِلْ فِيهَا. If Allah orders Sayyidina Nuh, carry in your ship pairs. So progeny continue. And now we are seeing what we are seeing, unfortunately, but that's not the norm. That's not natural. It has to be man and a woman. And we all need, as Muslims, to learn this, and this is one of his rules. It's never going to change. I'm not going to sugarcoat, but I'm not going to look down at people who don't believe in this. I make dua for them. Ya Allah, change them. Ya Allah, show them what you showed me. But I'm not going to say things that Allah did not tell me to say, right? So now then He made the human being half. Now I'm getting into what I want us to talk. There is probably more in the Muslim community than others, that the man is not the same as a woman, and the woman is not the same as a man. True or false? Are we the same? Are we equal? I'm talking to both. And the question is for both. Are we the same? Are we equal? So there's two questions. Are we the same? Yes or no? Are we equal? Absolutely. Everyone agrees? You're not going to change your mind after the end of my talk. Alhamdulillah. Here you go. And this is the proof. As Sheikh Almasmari beautifully said, everything in these lectures we have to say, قال الله قال الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام. It's not my opinion or a research published in Lancet journal. No, this is deen. This is his words. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم. This is the first verse in Surah An-Nisa. خلقكم من نفس واحدة. How many of you have cut an apple? Show me. Don't be scared. It's just cut an apple. Who did it? Right? Don't look at me like I'm not fooling you. Right? I'm just getting you to understand the point. When you are so, mashallah, accurate and meticulous, right? And you have a very sharp knife and you cut the apple into two parts. Which one is better? Which one is better? Nobody. Lovely. And this is what he said, alayhi salatu wassalam. This is a long hadith. And look at the woman when they want to learn the deen. This hadith basically started, and subhanAllah, I didn't put the whole hadith because I thought there may be some young people and but I'm going to share it with you now since I see the audience. So basically, this is a man, a Sahabi companion, came to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, and he said, I saw a wet dream. You know what's a wet dream mean? Should I perform ghusl? And he said yes. Then another Sahabi said, well, if I saw a dream, but there is no wetness, he said no ghusl. Who asked him next? Salama. This is a woman, this is a Sahabiyya, this is full of haya. But when it comes to my deen, I need to learn. She said, what about the woman? And that was his answer. He said, وَلِلنِّسَاءِ عَلَيْهِنَّ غُسْلٌ. The same applies for the woman. He said, نَعَمْ إِنَّمَا النِّسَاءُ شَقَائِقُ الرِّجَالِ. Cut an apple, sharp in the middle. You put them together, they make an apple. But if one part of the apple think they are better than the other, or that part better than the other, there will never be an apple. Are you getting what I'm getting into? You come to a marriage, you're not better than the other person. Because you're a man, or because you're a woman. Who said so? Or because I'm rich and he's not, or he is rich and she's not, I'm educated. No. The foundation, we are equal. The foundation in the sight of Allah, as a human, we are equal. Who's better than the other? What's your relationship with Allah? So here you go. So the purpose of meeting these two people, and I got this from a tafsir book, by the way. This one is not AI generated. This one is tafsir book, right? There's a peaceful existence. Why do we get married? And what is the goal? And how should the marriage go? Peaceful existence has to be. If you start fighting when you are in the engagement, it's going to be a tough road. If you are not agreeing on majority of things and you're in love with each other, that's going to be tough. The most important one, which I heard it recently in a beautiful way, if you are not willing to give up some of your rights, it's going to be a very tough ride. There is he's a physician, but he also knows about the deen. Some of the Egyptians may know him. It's Dr. Hussam Muwafi, right? He's an older man, so there's a lot of wisdom in it. So there was an interview, and the interviewer asked him, what do you say about Aqdu Zawaj? What do you say about the contract, marriage contract? You know what he said? One word. Aqdu Tanazul. It's a contract of giving up some of your rights, both sides. It's not this side or this side. If you get to marriage in this way, it's not, okay, what I'm going to get to it, 50-50, all these things. I cook today, he's going to do this tomorrow. It's not going to work. It doesn't work with friends. If you are not a giver and your friend is not a giver, there's no friendship. There's a business deals. And marriage is not a business deal. If you look at it, business deal, it's going to fail right away. So here you go. Peaceful, purity, and of course, the most important, one of the most important one, I put this because maybe to this side is not a priority, but definitely for this side is a priority. And there is no, this is Allah's will and how He created us. It's not because we are better or they are better or vice versa. And we'll come to this. Right, so second house. This is how Allah said about the wives and the husbands. And this is in the middle of Ayatul Siyam. When Allah talked about Ramadan and fasting and everything, after He said, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. If my servants ask you about me, I am close. Respond. He said like this. The night of fasting, you can come to have an intimate relationship. And then He described هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن. They are your garment. He started with the man, and then you are her garment. I need you to think a minute. Why did Allah use the word garment? This is Allah's word. He has all the languages of the world. He can use any word. Why did he say garment? What does garment do? One person. So cover, comfort, beautify, prevent, closeness. The closest thing to you, all of us now, is the garment I am wearing. Is that your spouse? His words. I'm sure all of you have read it. No way you didn't, in Ramadan you came into this. But we don't think, as you said beautifully last night, we just pass the verses. But why did he say libas? So here I am, going into my marriage, I am married. Is my husband my garment? Am I the garment of my husband? Am I the garment to my wife? Is she my garment? Or I just want him to be my garment and Anna, no, or vice versa. Because here he said you and her, or he and you, right? Now coming to now it's going to be very, I hope I will keep you all here. And I hope you will come for my next talks. Who's in charge? This is a company. This is a hospital. This is a house. Who's in charge? Right? Should there be somebody in charge? I put these questions as I was thinking. So the first question is, who's in charge? And who said so this one is in charge? And the second, do we need a charge? Or everyone does what they want? I'm asking. Oh, now silence. Wait, it's okay. Okay, that's okay. That's okay? Okay. Nobody would have thought of this. It's number one, Allah is in charge. And that's why beautifully you said it. You look at Allah and what He wants from me and this marriage, not what I want and what they want or what my friend says or my parents or my in-laws. He's in charge. True? What is one of the names of Allah? And I put it here. Al-Adl. What does Al-Adl mean? Don't translate, it's already translated. What does it mean? To you as a Muslim, all of us. Come on. This is not about only marriage in general. Yes. I'm sorry? Definitely He wants us to be just, but I'm talking about when His rules comes in. He will never be unjust. Never. Yani هذه never million lines under. I really mean, because this, if I put it as my motto and my way of living in my marriage, and I am going to put him in charge, and whatever he told me, I am going to do it, then I have no problem in the marriage. When things goes down, I'm not talking when things are fine. It's when things goes down, I put Allah as al-Hakam number one. And I know if He told me, or when I go and the Sheikh or the Imam or whoever person of deen and taqwa tells you you're wrong or tells you you are wrong, and he gives you the evidence, I leave and I say, Ya Allah, make me do it. It's difficult, but make me do it because you're just. Again, I'm not saying these things are easy. Again, waking up for Fajr is not easy, but we do it, right? So who's in charge? In life, you fly. Who's there on the cabinet? At least minimum 2, has to be. But if you do international trip like the last one I came in, which was 13 hours, how many people in the cockpit? 4. Because they have to take breaks, and in case something happens, there's somebody. What about a ship? Can the ship just go by itself? Or one morning I am the charge, the captain, the next day is one of the people. What's going to happen to this ship? Or sink. What am I saying? It's going to come, don't worry. So who's the captain? No one is answering me. It's amazing. After Allah, no, I gave you the answer. So who's the captain? Okay? So there is two in this marriage. Somebody has to be the captain, right? If there is two captains in a ship, the women don't answer. They don't want to hear it, right? Right? There is two, there's no three. The marriage is two, right? So either he or she. Fine. I'm going to be patient with you. It's okay. Fine. One of the most controversial ayah in the Quran. And if you don't know what it means, both of you will do injustice. This is one of the ones that every Muslim should know what this one means. I was in London in my recent trip, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made me cross the road from, don't ask me why this side, I was going that side, but I crossed to walk, and then I hear the Quran. I was like in the middle of Oxford Street, Quran, loud. I try and I see a booth for da'wah. So I wanted to go and see which Quran they are giving, and I looked and it's a blue Quran. So I had not seen this blue Quran, and the man knew me, and he said, she will answer you. SubhanAllah. As if Allah brought me, because he couldn't. First question, this was a woman, non-Muslim. It was a woman. So the first question about خلق السماوات والأرض, so okay, and then she came to this one. Every non-Muslim who wants to pick up on Islam, this one is going to come with all the details of it. But I focus on the first one, the first part, because this is related to marriage. So what is qawama? I'm going to answer the brothers, because you quote this verse whenever there is problems in the house. I mean it. We're going to be very honest here. We are here to learn, and we are here to make our homes second and to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the man is qawam? So the man is a provider. True. The woman will come and says, but I work also. Why I am not qawama? What else is a qawama? It's not about money only, because it doesn't fall completely if the woman is the breadwinner. Allah put it in the ayah. فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بَعْضَهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ وَبِمَا أَنفَقُوا مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ. Now you come into, and I put it in English. So the men are this is one of the best translations. It's from the clear Quran. Use this word. Don't say they are. I can't remember the other ones. Maybe your Sheikh Almasmari. The other translation may come for this society is very difficult. So caretakers. As men have been provisioned by Allah over women. He moved over, but they were given things the woman doesn't have it, and they are supposed to support them financially, even if you are a multi-millionaire. So let's come to this. Both are creation of Allah, and Allah will not do injustice to anybody, and gave each one of them different criteria. Before I put the next slide, if I ask Sheikh Almasmari covered a lot of it. I ask the brothers first, from your point of view as a man, what is the difference between a man and a woman? And I'm not putting anybody down. What's your perception that the woman is different from you? In which way? Just give me one, please. Emotional. What about the sisters? Yes. I'm sorry? Physical strength. Bismillah. Again, Allah is Al-Adl. Keep putting this in your mind. In everything, what's happening in Gaza, Allah is still Adl. And Allah is still Rahim, but we're not seeing it. When the Muslims were killed in Uhud, and he walked alayhi salatu wasalam and saw the most beloved people to him dead and mutilated, Allah is Adl and Allah is Rahim. But he had the belief, of course, but they didn't see it at that time. So, given the woman the following, who's he? Keep saying this, because without looking at Allah, it is very difficult to be just. It's very difficult to understand, even in our daily life. He given the woman great tasks: childbearing, breastfeeding, and looking after the children. And these are not tasks that can be fulfilled easily. It needs preparation, physically, psychologically, and mentally. When I do surgeries on my patients, when I used to do this, the woman is very different. Why the woman has ovaries? Why the woman has uterus? Why the woman has vagina? Because Allah created her for that. Whether you have children or you don't, this is a general rule. Okay. And the qualities of woman, which the brother beautifully said, tenderness, it doesn't matter what she shows outside. Sometimes we are forced to be strong and show not what is for many reasons. But the woman has tenderness, quick reaction, we are reactionary, and we have an instinct response to the needs of children. 3 a.m. when the child or the teenager or the 6 months crying or have a fever or they are late, the woman jumps from the bed, even if she went to sleep an hour ago. If the son or the daughter, they did not come home, they are supposed to land at 3 a.m., they didn't task, she can't sleep. And that's not because the man is worse. No, that's because that's how Allah created her. All agree? Alhamdulillah. All right. Not superficial qualities in the woman, physical, mental, and psychological constitutions. This is who we are. How we regulate the emotion, how we show the emotion is a different story. But the way, when I see something and a brother and me, the way I see it and react is different than the way the brother see it and react. This is how we are. Okay? So, if this is her quality, it's only fair. By the way, this is from a tafsir book. It's not AI generated. Right? So it's fair as well that the man be given physical, mental, and psychological qualities, enable him to fulfill his duties the same way as the woman. It's two parts of an apple. If two parts are tender and emotional, who's going to take care of the things? Somebody has to be stronger physically and emotionally than the other one, so the apple stays apple. Do you agree with me? Yes? I don't know. How much left? Billah? No, I'm sorry. No, I haven't covered a lot of it. Okay. Do you allow me to continue? Please forgive me, Sheikh Almasmari. Alrighty. So it's the only just the other part. The man should be assigned tasks providing essential needs, protection required for the woman, and fulfill the higher duty. She could not, this is written by a man. It's not written by a woman. So she could not be given all those tasks, still be required to work in order to earn her living. Required. Fine. Let's come to the house. Act of worship. You're going for Umrah, work on your marriage. You want to go to Umrah, you want to get married, it is the same. Keep this in your mind. طيب, what is the obligation and what is the spousal rights? Okay. Are you ready? Bismillah. Who's the leader? There has to be somebody who's a leader. So who's the leader? Who's the captain? By Allah. No one is answering. The men are scared to say it, and the women don't want to say it. Alhamdulillah. Absolutely, it's the man. Unless, and I'm going to come to it, because that's why this is the first one. You read it in all the fiqh books. At-ta'atu bil-ma'ruf. Obedience, and again, I put the obedience here because I know the people here will understand. But if I'm talking to a youth, I don't put the word obedience, because the obedience is usually taken as slavery. I say, take care of your husband. The marriage is not about he takes care of you. The marriage is about you both take care of each other, and the final word is his, unless he gives it to you. But that's not an open invitation in what is right. And I even looked into what is right. Right? Spirit of trust, mutual respect, and shared leadership. Meaning, the wife decide about the children, the husband decide about something else. Or you decide about something, he decide about something else. But if it is one thing and you need to make a decision, and you differ, and both are pleasing to Allah, who will we follow? Absolutely. It's not about I'm weak. It's not because I don't have that people don't know my value. No. You expressed your opinion, he expressed his opinion. Both opinions are pleasing to Allah. That's why I put the number one leader in the house is Allah. Both are pleasing to Allah. It's not about emotion, or it's not fair, or all this. Then usually you leave it to him. The wife defers in disagreements to the husband final say. But never, Hadi is very important to the brothers. Never to the point of compromising her conscience or violating divine commands. Because that verse I just put it, please forgive me brothers, but the brothers abuse it. Abuse it completely. So, and because of the abuse, we see it now, any reaction, right, will create another reaction. And if it's an extreme reaction, the reaction to the reaction is another extreme. And that's what we are seeing. The balance is lost. So this form of submission is not about being subservient or abdication of personal agency, but it's about a willing acknowledgement of the husband's role as a leader and a protector. Right? That's the most important thing. The husband has to be pleasing to Allah. And I'm not going to say yes to anything that he wants if it is not pleasing to Allah. Because I thought I had this hadith here. Right. Never. He tells me not going to pray, I'm sorry. If that means their marriage is done, the marriage is done. If I was in BRIC. The room was full. I think there was like 800 people. There was a question came from online. And it's from a sister. She said, this man came to me, proposed very nice, everything, but he does not want me to wear hijab. I said, if he does not value the hijab, he does not value you. Don't do it. Don't do it. If he is not worried about your akhirah, who's going to worry about your akhirah? And why do you want to sell your dunya for, your akhirah for dunya? No. You leadership in the way that pleases Allah. Leadership in the way that pleases Allah. Obedience means trust and respect. He just said it, subhanAllah. And by the way, Sheikh Almasmari doesn't know my slides. And I didn't know his slides. Because I changed a lot from Michigan, if you remember. Michigan is very different than Irvine. So what the man wants from the woman is trust and respect. And you give him the leadership, but that doesn't mean you have no saying. And again, you all know what I mean. I always tell the woman, if you want to convince your husband, you can. But maybe not immediately, maybe not at this moment. Choose the right moment, especially when it is something, it's not haram, and when it is something reasonable. And that doesn't mean you always submit, and he's not. He also has, as exactly, shaqa'iq al-rijal, the two parts of the apple. No obedience, harmful and unlawful act, right? Then she is being diminished by the fact you have to listen to me, and she is non-existing. That's not what Allah said. Or again, in disobeying Allah. So we really need to understand, what does this obedience mean? You have your value, you have your value. It's just like who will make the final decision. However, many of the times, literally, when I was growing up, my father trusted my mom. Whenever we want to go to him to get some things, he said, whatever your mom say. So we know this is not going to work. Because he trusted her. Subhanallah, that's very important, right? لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. What Sayyidina Ali have narrated. No obedience to any human being. And that includes everybody else, your friends, your children, at all. Allah is the main leader, ruler, and the one that deserves my submission, unwavered, uncompromised. Right? So the first one is, this is very important. Again, I say this, and I'm going to speak from the physician lens, or the physician hands. I'm an OBGYN, so this is something I deal with it, right? When the woman gets to the menopause age, right? Naturally, the desire could become less, because the hormones are less. So what do we do, especially if she's young? Like sometimes I've seen it late 30s, right? What do? We give her the male hormone as a treatment. Now you know why Allah said this. We agreed, we were created different. We have hormones to make us mother so we can get pregnant. They have a hormone to be stronger physically, more controlled emotionally, and then they have the desire. That's all. This is why I told you, that's Allah creation. It's not me and you. And that's why you see these days when they want to change, what do? They get all these injections of the hormones. Why? Because they are changing the gender. So the husband has this need. This has need. If you are not going to fulfill it, it's going to be in the haram. You really need to understand that. It's very different than us. Women, we feel it completely different. They have feeling, they need to fulfill it. And that is why, right, also when you fulfill that right of the husband is an act of worship. Because then it's going to come this hadith, which one of the hadiths, which also really, the non-Muslims and sometimes the Muslims comes to this and they say, this is not fair. May Allah forgive me, may Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam forgive me for saying this word. Because if the women say no, then she will sleep all the night being cursed by the angels. That's his hadith. This hadith on Sahih fi Muslim. But how can I understand that? Now, remember what Sheikh Almasmari said. خيركم خيركم لأهله. The best among you is the best to his family. أهله is usually, first thing is meant is the wife. And then even in the khutbah al-wada, the meaning of is like, how can you not to treat her well in the day, and then in the night you need your right, or your need. So it is also both, but for the woman, again, I had, as a physician, I had patients comes to me, she says, I'm not feeling it. I said, you don't have to feel it. Literally, I used the word you used, fake it till you make it. Because this is the need. It's not about emotion, it's a need. You know, when someone is hungry and they have to eat, right? And sometimes tells you, I'm hungry, it doesn't matter, just give me. For us, no. We have to, when I'm hungry, I want to eat. I have to have my emotion with it. For the men, it's different. I'm being very honest here. And I'm speaking from a physician lens. So when the man asks his wife, she needs to say yes unless she's sick, it's going to make her worse, or he is asking in the haram way. These absolutely no. So that's the second, right? Why? I explained it. And we need to both agree on the principle. Having said that, as a man also have to be considerate, because what we said, feel her. Feel her. She's exhausted, she's tired, she went through a tough time. Don't ask, so you don't push her to say no. You know what I'm saying? And you also have to come from his lens. And one of the hadith that I really love and makes dealing with people much easier is لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. You're not a true believer unless you love to your brother or sister what you love for yourself. When you are tired and she comes and asking you something, says, don't talk to me now, right? I need to go and take a rest, I need to take a nap, and then we'll discuss it tomorrow, right? Same thing here. So yes, you are by Allah required to say yes, but also when you ask, be considerate of the other person. So not going, and this is the third one. The reason I put it, it doesn't apply these days, but you're gonna see it in the fiqh books. She is not supposed to leave the house without his approval. But what does that mean? Meaning from the beginning, before you get married, what is the most important things for you? I always tell people, if working is for you a must, he needs to know and he needs to agree on that. Because that's going to create problem afterward. If you don't want a woman, somebody just recently asked me and said, he doesn't want her to work. I said, this is his right. That's his choice. And your right to say no. You don't have to say yes. But these are the things is like, you know what, I'm going to go every Thursday, visit whatever, I'm going to work, I'm picking up. But In general, these things has to be agreed on. At that time, absolutely. So you're not supposed to go wherever you want, travel alone without even talking to her. And imagine if he leaves the house without telling you where is he going. What is going to happen? Don't answer me, I know. Okay. And this is actually almost we're getting to the end. A long hadith, and he summarized the rights. وَلِنِسَائِكُمْ عَلَيْكُمْ حَقًّا. You have rights over your wives, and their rights over you. They have rights over you. Your right, that they will never permit anyone you dislike to enter your home. And their right is that you should treat them well in the matter of al-ihsan. Food and clothing, meaning is not just food and clothing, because people misunderstand this hadith. No, you took her from a family that she was living in a good standard. You are supposed to give her the same standard. Not you expect her to work and she makes that standard. Otherwise, don't go in and ask this woman. We really need to know a lot before getting married. Getting married is not a day of wedding and all this fancy ideas we have and the honeymoon. Reality is very different. And the last but not the least, which is both sides, but this is always also put, treat her in a good manner. Treat her in a good manner, but you treat him in a good manner. And look at this one from Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Sayyidah Aisha loved the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Who doesn't love the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam? So he came to her that night and they were sleeping together, right? And she felt him moving out of the bed. She actually touched him, his wife, and says, meaning, stay with me. Read it, it's here. And he said, Ya Aisha darini ata'abbadu laylan li Rabbi. Leave me. Right? She wanted him, but he said, leave me. Why? I want to pray to Allah. She responded, look at how she responded. And Sayyidah Aisha, there is no one more educated, more strong than Sayyidah Aisha. And she said, I love to be close to you. Look, the discussion. This is a husband and a wife. As Sheikh Almasmari said, when he entered the house, he's a husband. He's not a Rasul alayhi salatu. She didn't say, oh, how can I say no to, how can I, whatever. No. How can I argue? إِنِّي لَأُحِبُّ قُرْبَكَ. I love to be close to you. وَأُحِبُّ مَا سَرَّكَ. Look at this one. And I love what makes you happy. فَقَامَ فَتَطَهَّرَ فَصَلَّى. She said yes, but look how she said yes. You didn't say that, okay, fine, go. Right? Okay, you always do this. No. The reason I'm asking because I love you and I want to be close to you, but whatever makes you happy makes me happy. He understood the yes, and he stood up and made his sadaqah. And this is why I ended up with this dua. And this, wallahi, we need it day and night, this dua. Not only about marriage, about everything in this life. Arina al-haqqa haqqan, show us truth as truth. And help us to follow it, because sometimes we don't know it's true. Then we know it's true, but it's too difficult. Or I'm not convinced. And show us falsehood as falsehood. And ask Allah and help us to stay away from it. Jazakumullah khair. Please forgive me for taking a little bit more time. Not too bad. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So we're going to take, yes, go ahead. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi tasliman kathira.
Thank you so much, Sheikh Haifaa. Inshallah, we're going to